What's going on, everyone?
What's up?
We are here. We're back. We're live. We're rocking it on the YenYorkCity Podcast.
We are back for another amazing artist, and this time he's from New York City. So we're gonna talk about it, Nory. So how would you describe? I mean, we're gonna ask him. He's just so amazing.
When we
He's
heard
so
his
different.
music, I instantly thought like you mentioned Rage.
Rage
Rage
Against the
Against the
Machine. Yeah,
And then-
something in there reminded me of Zach De La Rocha.
And then I felt also what's that one band that we started?
Dirty Heads.
Dirty Heads. Yeah, Dirty Heads is a
With
fun
the
one.
trumpets and the sax. Oh my God, so good. 8-piece band. So, and the hip hop, you know, he got a lot of flavor. That's what I know.
Yeah, this guy came out
yeah.
of nowhere. Like, we had worked with a company, and they were sending out like the emails for us to get some more people. I'm making money. What's up?
What's up? Making money. What's good?
Welcome in.
He's just making money, you know.
He was making money.
Making money.
And then he saw the email, and he was like, "Oh, let's check this out." And then he reached out to us, and then we checked him out, and we were like, "Yes, please."
Instantly.
So yeah, we're excited. We're gonna open it up a little differently today. We're gonna show you what he's about first, before we get him on to talk about himself and everything that he's doing. We're gonna show you something amazing that he has done here in New York City.
Yeah, he's performing everywhere. He has a show coming up. We're gonna be talking about that. So which clip are we gonna show?
We're gonna
first?
show this song called Ashes.
Oh, I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs.
This is a fun one. Let's see, Crow. There we go. And where is it? There it is. Sorry. Here we go. Let's listen to this.
Let's check out Nory.
One, two, three, come on. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Ashes to ashes to ashes. Ashes to ashes to ashes. Feel like I done seen 1,000 people burn alive. Religion carries on your spirit, not immortalized. Make a deal with the devil, trade your life to hell. Once you buried 6 feet, your legacy will not revive. Your legacy will not revive. We got one life, so live it how you fantasize. Don't let nobody else ever keep you hypnotized. A different path we all follow to the same demise. You know your spirit ended up in hell, bitch, don't deny. Feel like I done seen 1,000 people drown, run. They sprint fast, hoping they could still breathe along. It's like pretending that your hand can block out the sun. The situation complicated, life's gonna drop. But you can never run away. No matter where you go to, it always finds a way. You feel the fear take control, yes, very often. That is how God will eliminate the rotten. Come on. Yeah. Check. Eliminate the rotten. Think outside the box before you stuck inside a coffin. There's danger all around, but the only real threat to myself is me. I done seen a lot of people give up on their dreams, never strong enough to leave fear in the gravity, so they stuck living the lives of mediocrity, regretting choices. Every choice has so much potency. Feel like I didn't see nobody live in present day. You stress about tomorrow, forgetting how to live today. You listen to your mama tell you everything's okay, but deep down we all feel something rather strange. Yeah. Gunshots in neighborhoods, call the ambulance. Somebody die around the world every time I speak, and every second is somebody's last chance to breathe. So why the fuck you give a damn? Always stressing that the people will not understand. You got a mission, little boy, don't fuck up the plan. Hungry like the wolf, but this shit is not the random rat. Welcome to my wonderland. You either listen or you'll spend your life stuck in the can, or even worse, you'll spend your time serving another man. Odds in the wheel, it's time we put it in the jam. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Holy shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nory. And can you believe it? We got him on here.
We got him tonight. Well, I mean, we did a little earlier podcast today for you guys.
Yes.
What's up, Tommy? I see you in chat.
Welcome in, Tommy. Thanks for the sub, Tommy.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Yeah, so we are going to, without further ado, introduce you the amazing Nory from New York City. Let's go. Are you ready for me, Nory?
I'm ready.
All right, let's
He's
do
ready.
this. Let's go.
Let's get him on the screen here. Let's see. Look at this handsome man. Look at this
Look
guy.
at him. Look at that cutie pie right there. What's up,
right.
Nory? Thank you so much for giving us this time and space. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited and honored to be here.
Oh,
Thank you guys so much for asking me or having me on the show. Very excited.
really
course.
excited. So, Nory, I mean, you have so many different elements to you. And, I mean, how would you describe your music? Because there's so much flavor. There's so many layers. It's experimental. It's progressive rock mixed with jazz and hip-hop. I love it. How would you describe it yourself? And how did you become an artist like this? Because there's so many layers to you. I want to know how it started.
Sure. I think it all started when I was a kid and I was sort of a professional dancer when I was little.
Oh.
So I did a lot of ballet. I did a lot of contemporary dance and break dancing and stuff. So that's really where like my heart fell in love with music. I was maybe like, 11 to 14, something like that, when I was really into dance. And I would, dance to a lot of different things like Tchaikovsky or dubstep. And
Wow.
I felt equally compelled by all of those genres ever since I was little. But the real like life-changing moment happened to me when I was even younger, and the thing that even propelled me into dancing, which was maybe I was 6 years old, and I was on a trip with my dad. He had a business trip, so I went with him. I think we were in San Francisco. Not that that's relevant, but um, we were in the hotel room, and he bought a CD of Michael Jackson's Dangerous tour.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a good
I
one.
love Michael Jackson.
And it was what my dad, I had no idea who he was really. I only remember that he had died when I was little. But watching that tour, seeing him move on stage and seeing, everything that he did, it was so breathtaking for me. And I credit that as the moment where I recognized I needed to be a performer in some way.
Wow. And so
Um,
many people are influenced by Michael Jackson. I'm one of them for sure.
yeah.
And dancing, wow, yeah. I mean, watching hours of him dancing live and his performances, no one's like Michael, So I see that. That's an amazing influence too.
Yeah, he's really the godfather of my career, for sure.
Wow. We were just listening to Dangerous like 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
going to your parents.
Yeah.
Wow. It was just random. So who would have thunk?
Yeah. So that's where I think my fascination really started, was with him.
And then what kind of grew the inspiration outside of that? Because I know there's a lot of different elements to you. So
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was the foundation. So what else you can say that added towards your development as a musician?
So it was Michael Jackson, and then when I started like doing a lot of contemporary dance and stuff as like a teenager, going out of adolescence,
Mm-hmm.
I was really into dubstep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just dancing in my room to like crazy, hard-hitting electronic music.
Which artists?
I probably Skrillex. I don't remember that many others. I remember I was like 12, so it was whatever YouTube playlist I was listening to. But definitely, I was a huge Skrillex fan. And this was like his like prime years,
Mhm.
And yeah, like whatever remix of like pop music I could find that was like a dubstep remix, I was obsessed with. And I also got into like more refined electronic music, like Deadmau5 as well when I was a kid, and artists like that. So I went from like Michael Jackson to dubstep pretty seamlessly, and then from that came like my obsession with hip hop later on as well, in like high school and stuff.
That's awesome. Any like other hip hop artists that you followed?
Like 5. I like to always say, name
Yeah.
5 most influential.
So right now, my top 5 influential are very different from like when I was in high school. In high school, the people that I was listening to the most musically were like JPEG Mafia, a lot of like Kendrick and Eminem, and let me think for a second. Oh, Kanye, undeniably, and Chance the Rapper. Like
Oh, cool.
those rappers were
I
definitely
can hear.
Yeah.
There was like a section in that last song we heard. It had that Kanye feel when he came out with like one of his first few albums. And I was like, yeah, this reminds me of someone.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Kanye is easily one of the biggest influences, and I became such a super fan of Kanye going into college.
Yeah, such a mind.
Right, and more than like just his music, which was so inspiring, was him as a person outside of his like bullshit, controversial garbage, but like his confidence, his perseverance, his belief in himself was like really the thing I took away from him.
And you're very confident on stage. I mean, clearly
Oh,
from what we
man.
can see on your videos,
I love you on stage.
you have a mass amount of energy, and it just seems like it's not just like carefree, but you're also enjoying yourself and being in and part of the music while you're there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's something that I always say that as musicians, you can't just be like a stick in the mud and just like not move and just
Right.
be stiff and just play music, right? He's
Nory's
like,
a
you gotta feel
star.
it. You
He's
really
a
gotta feel
star.
it,
He shines.
and you feel it. Like I could tell, and that resonates. Like if you're not moving, no one else is gonna move. So like
Precisely.
you're rocking out that stage, and everybody else is like, damn, this kid is like on fire.
And you're really young. How old are you? You're really young, right?
I'm 21.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're just starting off. Can you imagine? This is just the beginning.
Oh,
So-
thank you. I hope so.
You originally, I know you're in New York City now, but originally you're from Miami, right?
Correct.
And when you made the move, what was the biggest difference that you found moving here from Miami?
Well, I mean, the move happened at a like really pivotal time in my life. I think going into my 20s, I think I was just experiencing a lot of maturity and growth emotionally and
Mhm.
spiritually and everything. So coming here felt like I was finally myself for the first time because I was kind of independent from my home, from my parents, and I was learning who I was upon arriving. And one of the biggest differences I noticed, like on a sort of superficial level, was the fact that you can in Miami, like you drive from point A to point B,
Yeah.
and you're in your car, and then you go from
Mhm.
one place to the other, and the journey is about reaching the next place, even if it's just going to the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the city in New York, the whole like traveling places is the part that's the most fun. Like even just going to get your groceries, you have to walk to get your groceries. At least
Yeah.
and most of the people I know have that same experience. So I've personally grown and met so many people just by walking places, which you can't do in Miami. It's not a city for walking. So yeah, that was like the biggest life change and like my favorite part about here, which is that you have to be on your feet, even if you take the subway, you have to be
Gotta keep
around
it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the energy is like nowhere else. Everyone always says that.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been here? You
So
just
I moved here in August of 2021.
wow.
Wait, 2022, I'm sorry. 2022.
Oh,
So
only
like
for
a
2 years. And
Yeah.
how'd you link up with all these musicians that you were able to get on stage with?
Yeah, a couple ways. One, so I transferred to the new school to study music when I moved here. So I happened, of course, to meet a huge network of musicians from just being in school with them. And most of my band, not necessarily in that video, but when I was starting out, was new school cats from like the jazz program. And I also have met significantly more friends and musicians just by like going out to jams all the time. Hanging
yeah,
out
Do you
yeah.
go to those jams at that studio?
Funkadelic?
That's
you
like
ever
the
do
one
that?
jam I don't go to.
Uh.
'cause
Oh. But
work
that's how
and
we
everything.
found you. So that was sweet.
Yeah, yeah. But
was meant to
those
be.
kind of things I've met so many people from.
Wow. And so you have an 8-piece band.
Yeah.
Is that your permanent like solid group, or do they rotate?
On the video is essentially pretty much the solid group. I've changed my guitarist since, because my usual guy was out of town. So in that video, I have like a B team, if you will.
Like a hired gun.
Yeah, pretty much. But I have a solid group of guys. And like I've been playing around with the band, like every gig, just seeing like different formations and like different sizes. I've noticed like I've really been into doing like a trio lately
Really?
instead of because it's really refreshing to
Yeah.
change it from like this orchestra to like me, bass, and drums.
Yeah.
And it's just like in a lot of ways more fun sometimes because I get to shine a lot more and just explore different like more minimalist.
That's
Avenue.
true.
There's not a lot of music tones going off in the atmosphere where it's like there's a lot to see versus like, all right, I'm the spotlight. Like,
So is it a lot of tracks at that point when it's only a trio?
No, I hate
Was-
using any tracks. I don't like tracks. personally.
So then it's the bass, you,
Yeah.
and
And the drums.
the drums.
She's laying down the beats,
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
much.
grooving.
Yeah.
Very drum and bass.
Yeah, I kind of like um grew a personal disdain towards tracks. I love when other artists use tracks because it sounds great. But for me personally, like I spent the first half of my performing career using tracks without a band.
Yeah,
And
I understand that.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a different feel, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like there's no the live instruments bring out a lot more projection versus the tracks where
Oh
it's
yeah.
in front of house
The energy.
and in ears, right? So you got to keep yourself in time, or you're just following the flow of the tracks, but it's not the same as like feeling the natural instruments just resonate through the air, you know.
Correct.
And I agree. Like right now, we're running tracks until we fill in, you know, the voids of trying to get rid of the tracks because we want to get like members.
And I'm like
to
you.
fill
I
in.
prefer everyone live. They are
Yeah.
in person also. So in the beginning, it is a little bit of a adjustment when you're used to playing with a band, and then you're coming out with all these creative ideas, and also having people that collaborate on your vision and that have that vision as you. So you have a lot of elements in there, like hip hop, fusion. Like you said, you're guitarist, you switch guitarists. So who does a lot of the writing of the music? Are you really involved too? And do you play any instruments?
Yeah, so pretty much how it works is I produce and create an entire song on my own, and then we'll like bring it to a rehearsal or a band meeting, and then just like find a way to make it work live. So it's a very like collaborative process, but it all starts with like me coming up with the song and the lyrics and everything. Like it's pretty much like fully produced. For example, like Ashes, the song we just heard.
Yeah, I love
I
that
made
one.
that song in like 2021 or something, and it was already released, and the whole vision for it was complete. And then I just started playing it with the band over the course of like, the last year or whatever, and it kept getting more and more incredible as we kept growing the band, as new people had different ideas.
Mm.
Like, the horn lines obviously are not on the original song. Those we came up with, and a lot of the arrangements and stuff were done with the help of my keyboardist, Nemo.
Nevo.
He's helped me do a lot of arranging in terms of like adapting my songs for the large band. But yeah, it all
Nemo the
started
captain.
out loud.
The captain, yeah.
Exactly.
That's cool. Yeah. We heard some of the stuff that you create, like as your solo instrumental type things. It has like that kind of lo-fi type of vibe to it too,
Mhm.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's very diverse, your category.
What do you use to create your music?
I produce on Logic.
Oh yeah,
Logic,
I used to
yeah.
use that. Then I moved to FL.
Oh, really?
Yeah, FL's nice. If you ever get into it, the workflow. I mean, it's catered to the electronic music and
Right.
hip hop and rap. So a lot of the tools and a lot of the filters and the layers that you could throw on there, it's easy to work on when you're using the kind of like that chart flow map that they have there.
Yeah.
So I mean, after switching over, I'm like, I can't go back to Logic now. Even though like I love Logic, Logic's a powerful program, and I've been using it for years, and I just being in like introduction to FL Studio, I'm just like, yeah, there's no comparison. And even because I don't even make that much electronic music, I'm more of a rock metal kind of guy, but like we've been incorporating a lot of like synth elements to our music,
Cool.
very synth wavy type stuff. So,
Nice. Yeah, FL's cool. I usually people go from Logic to Ableton, so that's unusual.
well, Ableton's another one, yeah. Especially if you're running tracks, a lot of people run to Ableton because
Yeah.
I guess the track format is easier.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I like FL. My brother uses FL. He writes a lot of hip hop music.
Yeah, it's definitely like huge in hip hop.
Mm.
FL.
So, you play other instruments? I know you make music on Logic. Do you make it using a keyboard? Do you make it using
Yeah.
a guitar? Do you play like other instruments outside of singing?
Yes, I play piano, which I learned through producing, And I've been learning the drums lately. That's
Nice.
been my second.
Ooh.
My rhythm brother.
Yeah. I feel like rapping is pretty much drumming with your mouth. Um, like there's the rhythm, and especially as someone who came from dance, like I feel like everything I do is guided by rhythm, and how I write music is very like rhythmically oriented.
Mhm.
So drums has felt like a natural thing for me to pick up, and I've been really enjoying playing it. I still suck, but like it's so much fun.
As a dancer, like I know this because I used to break dance as well.
Yeah, he can really bust some moves.
And the drums is what really carries your movements. You know, unless you're doing like contemporary, where you're following the flow of the melodies.
Right.
But for the most part, on these these type of rhythmic tunes, like your movements are based off of like where the snare drum lies, or where, you know, where the beats fall in play.
Yeah.
So picking up drums is definitely beneficial, especially for what you're doing, because then you can also like you can kind of like break apart certain sections and be like, let's pull back on this and do like a triplet, you know, roll down into something else, you know, and
Right.
and that kind of with that vision, you can kind of work on even like your syllables or your positioning of your lyrics to flow with those rhythms.
Yes, absolutely. For
Um,
sure. And it's such a fun thing to play as well. It's like
it's a stress reliever.
very cathartic.
So, do you have a kit at home that you play, or do you you go to the studio and just kind of jam out there?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to work at a studio with like 11 beautiful drum kids.
Whoa,
Oh.
let us know where.
Yeah.
Funkadelic Studios.
Oh well, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love their setup there. They have some nice equipment. The drums, especially in the large room, that's like I think the more up to date set that's in there.
Yeah.
We were recently in there doing tryouts,
Yeah,
and
2 weeks ago.
that kick is punchy. It's
Yeah,
so
it's great.
nice.
In Studio One.
Yeah,
Yes.
Studio One.
Yeah, it's a
That's my
wonderful-
favorite room.
Me too. The best one for sure.
So, what's your next plan into your development of your music? Like, what are you are working on now?
Sure. Really exciting things. Ever since I started playing with my band, I've been like dying to record my band in every single way possible. And I went through a long period of like, and we did. So this is what happened. I like, you know, brought my band into Bunker Studio, which maybe you guys have heard of, in Williamsburg, and we recorded one of my songs called "Turn To," which essentially I like came to the realization that if you mic up a band, you are not going to capture the energy that it is like at a stage show. And it was kind of like a philosophical experience, because I'm like, how is it not translating exactly? And I did a lot of research, and I read in David Byrne's book, How Music Works, that he and the Talking Heads went through the same struggle. I'm sure every band sort of does. It's like, how do you translate the energy of a show onto a record? And like recording the band straight up is not the way to do it. Usually, like, doesn't work that way. So what I did was we went to the Bunker Studio and we laid down the tracks for this one song called "Turn To." And basically, what I wanted was to use as much analog gear as possible for the recording and make everything as like natural and warm and 70s as possible. And take that and sample my song and somehow create it into a more like modern, emotional production. So that's what ended up happening. I like recorded the band, and then I brought the stems home and like started producing it myself and like mixing and screwing around with what we did. And that's when I discovered like the power is combining the recording band process with the like in the box computer production stuff. And that's how you can really like create a song that has the energy of a show, because it's about accepting that there will never be a song with the exact energy of a live show.
Mm-hmm.
So
You know,
true.
kind of artistically adapting an idea into a production is like the goal. So that's what I did with that one song. And I recently just like my obsession has been like recording live music with me, because one of them like penultimate inspirations of my life is To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar.
Mhm.
And the way that record combines jazz and like live acoustic music with like incredible meticulous electronic production is like the most inspiring thing ever. So I've been like trying to find my own To Pimp a Butterfly sound. And I just recently like recorded my most talented musician friends and myself at a studio called Mission Sound in Williamsburg.
Mm.
Um, and I'm really excited to like continue exploring that. So that's like what I've been working on musically is like refining and polishing the sound of combining like the live band with production.
I would love to hear what that sounds like, because it's a rare instance where you can come across a song that you can feel, like as if you're there. Like a lot of new music now is very digitalized, and like for instance, the band that we've really gotten into was Sleep Token, and we heard them on the albums, and they sound amazing on the albums, but it's nothing compared to what they sound like live.
Oh yeah.
And
The dynamic.
there's like I want to play the devil's advocate on that one, because a lot of people, when they hear something on the album that you can also replicate live, it's like, okay, it's the same experience. But then if you do something where it's like, okay, not as great on the album, but amazing live, it really pressures people to come out live and see you live, right? So you give them that much more, and they're like, man, like their lives are just amazing, right? And if you're replicating that live on an album, it just kind of, at least for me, it kind of takes away from the essence of what it's like live, and it kind of deters people from like getting that I want to be there live to get that live feel, and then they're like, oh well, I mean, it sounds the way it is on the album.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like the caveat on that, but like there is that essence where it's like I really would love to hear it, as amazing as it could be live, on the album. So it's like one or the other,
Live is really the experience in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you really feel the energy and the crowd, and then
And the acoustics
and then
of
you're
the room.
giving it to the crowd, and the crowd's giving it back to you. It's a figure 8, so
Yeah.
the energy and the frequencies are there live, and you feel everything. So I get it. I agree.
I will say, like, now that we're talking about it, there are songs and bands that I think are actually, better suited on a recorded track as opposed to live. Like, for instance, I feel like Radiohead, I've never seen them live, so I can't.
I love Radiohead.
But their music is so gorgeous as it is recorded in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it really tells the story of each song in a way that like the live performance might actually like not do as well, because when it's live it becomes like the formality is different and like the goal is different, whereas when it's recorded in the studio there's like a narrative to each track. I don't know exactly how to articulate what I'm trying to say.
I think it's more like the production of the album is more catered to and focused as opposed to it being live, because
Right.
my other band that I play in is very production focused on their albums or the music, and then when we play it live, we're just incorporating the tracks, but we can never replicate what is on the album, and the energy isn't the same as what it was on the album. So it's hard to get that out in a live setting, because there was so much focus on like the intricacies and even like the details of the arpeggiation of like these background noises and stuff that you can't just do live unless you run tracks or you have like 3 keyboard players, and like you mentioned, like Radiohead and even like Muse, they run a lot of different synths in their music, and to replicate that live, it's like they have to run these tracks,
Right.
and then even then it's not the same. So
Yeah. But for sure Radiohead sounds incredible live, but like what we're saying, the whole point is that we have to remember that it will be a different experience.
yeah.
Like, that was like part of the difficulty with me coming to grips with that. Um, and it kind of goes back to like one of my biggest insecurities as an artist right now, which is like I feel like the music I have out is such a um misrepresentation of the level I am at
Mm.
now with the live band. And I like bothers me a lot, and I'm sure it will change with time. But like, I know like the stuff I have on Spotify is like if someone only knows me from that, they don't, they have only 1% of like what I feel like I'm doing.
That's how
Nory,
I feel.
this
That's how I
you're
feel.
hitting exactly what we're in right now.
Right now, we're that right now.
And we noticed that from you because we hear your like we heard this first, right? We saw your live videos first
Yeah,
before we went to your Spotify, and your Spotify gave a different essence of
yeah,
you, right? And we're like, this is really different. You know, it's like it doesn't hit as much as it does on these live videos.
That's why I described you as an innovative artist, because I feel like you're just evolving and you have so many layers that you can't just put one title under
Mhm.
your name, because you have so many suits and they're all amazing and they all create your vision, your sound, and your uniqueness, which I love. I love anyone that's unique, that has something a little bit different than that blends genres. Also, I love that you're not afraid of being that way, because we are that way too.
Mhm.
So that attracted us to your sound incredibly.
So, are you able to or looking towards releasing the audio of these videos out as a Spotify track? Because I feel like this would bring out that essence you're looking for. You know, I mean, at least in a rough draft sense,
yeah,
because like you said, you're trying to replicate what it would sound like live. You know,
right.
and just hearing, it's funny because like when we heard this next video we're gonna watch, as soon as the song was done, we're watching it in our living room.
Oh my God, yes.
And
this
I have my
moment.
Bose speakers running, and we're listening to it. At the end of your song, we were literally about to clap as if
clap.
we were there. You know, it's our
Like,
first time watching it. I'm like, man, like,
Instinctually,
and that's what you mean. You know, like you feel that live essence, like
that
you're there.
power. Yeah.
So, because of that, like that's
We're like, wow. Like, we literally looked at each other like if we were right in front of you.
and that's why I feel like if you
yeah.
release like whatever the audio is on these videos, like if you have the actual tracks of that,
Really, yeah.
you know, that would be great to put on there, and then they can hear like what that's like live. You know.
True. I think I might do like a live album drop for sure, because I do have all these tracks sitting on my hard drive, and it's like I might as well.
You have to.
And
You
here's
have to.
a fun question, because like I would love to do stuff like this in this production, like with the live videos and whatnot, because I'm very big, as you can see, with like digital and video production. I want to know the process of being able to run and track the audios from these venues. Like, do you have to book out these venues to give yourself enough time to set this up? Because I know it's a process, and I guess the venues would say, well, you have to bring at least 20 or 50 people, or you're paying to play. You know.
Yeah.
So what is that like when you're developing this situation where you're playing with these live bands to create this essence of this live performance for your videos, to have this nicely mixed audio in this location, in this setting?
Okay. Well, pretty much how it works is most of these venues have the capability of recording the multi-tracks there.
Hmm.
And you just have to pay them like $50 to $100, which is a total scam in my opinion. Like, the press of a button, I'm sure.
I know Arlene's was like that.
Yeah, exactly. Arlene's, which is one of the videos I have when
Yeah.
I played there, I had to pay Howard like $100.
Yeah.
But that's like fine because it's totally an investment that's worth it.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much get these tracks, and then I mix everything myself, which is like probably one of my, like, I'm most grateful for the skills I've acquired is the ability to mix, because it saves me a lot of dependence on people.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I have a lot of fun mixing the live shows. I don't know if that answers your question, but like, yeah. And then I just ask like buddies to pull up with video cameras and get a couple angles. So it's a lot less like methodical than it might seem.
So you're looking for venues that is capable of live tracking.
I mean, I play a ton of shows where they don't have that capability. And then it's like, oh, well, like Bowery Electric, for example, does not record, audio there.
So how do you manage that? Is that just raw audio?
Yeah, like I have a Bowery show that's just the like raw, Zoom recorder we had on stage. But yeah, I definitely like whenever there's a venue that has the capability of recording it live, then I will probably do it. It says to like, build up the portfolio.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite venue to play in New York City?
I think it's New Blue.
New Blue. And you have an upcoming show, right? Next month?
I have an upcoming show there. I just played there on Friday. Like I frequent there pretty much once a week.
Wow.
It's my favorite venue that I've played at because I think they really like foster special music there. And they're like one of the few venues that can afford to be a little more like curatorial with who plays there, because a lot of venues are unable to financially like decide. But New Blue, they're like more refined and like they want like a specific vibe. So that's why I love it there. And on top of that, have you guys ever been to Producer Mondays?
Where's that at Funkadelic?
No. So Producer Mondays is an event every week at New Blue.
Okay.
Oh, tell us about it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys should come. It's every Monday night at like 10:30 o'clock. It starts. It's really late and annoying that it's on a Monday.
10:30 on Monday.
PM.
It ends at like 2.
Let's
crazy.
go.
But it's this like live jam vibe, and there's a house band run by this guy Ray Angry who plays for the Roots.
Oh, wow.
And he basically put together this amazing house band, and they play like a fully improvised set, and then they have a featured artist as the guest, and then they do another set where they allow like people to come on stage and jam pretty much.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's like one of the best places and like one of the like reasons why I love New Blue so much, because it created this community of like extremely talented musicians and like an amazing networking opportunity as well to meet a lot of people.
There was I think there was something similar to that they did at the Bowery Electric, and then with the house band there, Ivan, Aphrodisiac, he goes by. He used to like get himself known just by being at the Bowery Electric almost every night possible, and he would tell the guys like, "Look, I'll pay you $50, just get me on stage. I just want to play." And he showed himself, and his energy is just like yours. Like he's a star. Like this guy's a monster, singer, guitarist, right? He moved to Germany and he's touring now. He's doing amazing. But like being here, like he he did stuff like that, like where he would go to these type of like jams, where he would say like, let me get on stage, I'll show you what I got, and they gave him the opportunity. So I feel like that's something similar to what they're doing there at New Blue.
Yeah, for sure.
Aside from paying, but
right. Well, you do have to pay to go, so that's the worst part also.
Okay.
It's an investment.
I agree.
Tax write-off. I was out there for business.
And I also feel like New York City, a lot of people want to say, oh, it's somewhere else. Like, oh, it's died off. It's this. And I'm like, I don't agree with that. You just got to look, because we have amazing musicians here. And I think that's false. And people always want to say that, it's like done here. And I'm like, no, it's in waves. And I think we're coming to a new wave. And I think it's also artists like yourself that are innovative, that are creative, that have a vision that's different and unique. And New York is about that, is creating these artists that stand out from the cookie cutters, artists, pop stars. And I think that there's a big wave coming and you're part of it. And I really believe that you're going to be huge. You're blowing up and and you're starting here in New York, and
It's
you
only
see
been
it.
2 years, and I can see like this. What you're doing is just top notch.
And he's focused, very
You know,
focused.
Compared to a lot of a lot of people that we've seen coming in and out of like New York scene. It's like you are a breath of fresh air just to watch and see him perform. So that's amazing.
Thank you so much.
In doing so, do you want to showcase another video? Do you want to do a freestyle? What are you feeling like?
If we were to freestyle, do I hear a beat or is it like acapella?
If I throw you a beat, it's gonna be off because of latency. So, but yeah, throw like an acapella if you can.
Okay. All right.
It's a shame you're not behind your kit.
Yeah, right. I'll throw it down for you. But
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay. One of my goals is to write as good as Cole, so they know I got the talent of a childish Gambino. I ain't that far, soon I'll be rapping with Kendrick Lamar, and my name will have a star on the Hollywood Boulevard. No way, already have the confidence of Ye. I'll make 3,000 racks, you can call me Andre. I'm killer, I'm always paying dues to the legend Mac Miller. He showed me rap is more than just cars, it's much bigger, and now I'm chasing cats and fame. Trying to get that Millie, call me young Lil Wayne. They are my idols.
Oh.
I know there's things I can't attain. No, I'm not Michael, but records spin around my brain. I break the cycle till I'm breaking records on Spotify and Tidal. Cruising till these records calm my mind. It's all vital. Headphones on and I drift away. Escaping from the world when I'm pressing play. I see the obstacles, put my fist through the glass. I'm killing it live on this here podcast. You recognize the moment, yes, I won't do it. Stopping this, I preach it like a church for the mass. You know I do it for myself, because if not, it's for my health. And if it's not for that, I recognize the moment and I keep it going. Yes, I own it. Everything I touch turns gold, and this is the thing that I believe in. My heart starts to beating, but it's the same damn reason why I turn on the TV screens or on the Logic profile. Won't stop because I know I do it freestyle, straight wild. I'm on Logic or on Ableton, but for me it's all the same, because you know I do it every night I can, and tell the microphones I am the man. Most people recognize it, but they just simply can't understand.
Let's
Woo!
go!
Let's go!
Nice.
I loved it. I was like, oh, he's hitting us with this fire right now.
Speaking of the freestyle, right?
Oh, yeah,
now that
yeah.
we're in here,
You
I
remind-
came across this video where you met up with Mark Ribolet.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
Yes.
right. That has so far been like my biggest moment in terms of like views. Pretty much this guy Mark Rebier, he like goes around, he went around, he kind of stopped doing it in New York, but he would go around every Sunday and just set up like a little producing studio in the middle of the street and make like crazy songs improvised with people.
Yeah.
And he was someone I knew about before I happened to cross him on the streets. But pretty much like I got into a fight with my ex, so I like left the apartment and started walking around, and then I just saw him.
Did you release your aggressions during this freestyle?
Yeah.
Well, I found him, and then I like pretty much started going every week trying to bother him so that I could play with him.
Oh, nice.
Because
Persistency.
Yeah, exactly. I ended up taking like the train 2 hours when he was all the way up in the Bronx or like in Brooklyn in the middle of nowhere. Like I just followed this guy every Sunday, hoping to play with him. And then like a couple times I got the chance to, and a couple times things that were really dope happened. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna load that up right now. We're gonna take it.
Yeah, let's show you guys what we're talking about.
Nory, how you doing, my guy? It was good to see you, man.
Yeah. I just want everybody right now to come up and down like this with me. This is the last one, so we gotta make it fucking special, okay? Yeah. Just like that. Check it.
I have begun to stand still on them, cause they gon' make you wanna move. Stay composed, tunnel vision on the things that I pursue. Yes, I'm left with
without a choice. On this path I pay my dues, even if the world says that your path is taboo. Cause there's just so many white people in this neighborhood. Grab the mic, you know that I will do it. Wonder if I could. All this fucking time in my mind, I'm shifting paradigms, and I'll be busy making art. Wanna tell this homie right here, that's the homie Mark. Every time that you be doing it up in the public parks, from all the way till light, all the way down the dark. We be spreading all this shit while you be tearing it apart. One more time, as you feel it, you know that I'm up in my vibe. I do this shit every time on the mic is where I choose to thrive. I never stop, no, you know I never hesitate. On the fucking beat, you know I do it, bomb detonate. I will eliminate all these fucking people who never see the man try and speak the truth. This is my dream on the motherfucking live stream. I make it hard to laugh, this is my reality. All these people wanna vibe, so I give them my time as I glide on this beat. Never do it, never memorize. It's straight from my mind. I got the freestyle, and nobody can ever come. You know I'm so wild. Yo, keep rocking with me. I ain't done yet, bitch. Staring in the darkness, the uncertainty alone has me praying with my knees to the carpet. Still try regardless. They say you signed up for the pain when you finally chose to become an artist. Forget survival, cause if I wanted steady income with the wage, I would have chased the normal title. Maybe it's denial, but I refuse to believe that I will not completely decimate my rivals.
Yay.
Wow.
Yay. That was great.
Thanks, man.
That was a moment.
Hoorah.
So that was the last time you had the opportunity to play with him?
Yeah, that was the last one he did. He was pretty much, he had the series on the outside, and then that was like the final episode. I think they started becoming too big, and he was like, I don't want to like cause a riot, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it was for the better, because I would have kept following him.
You guys were making magic. I mean, you gotta be like,
Yeah.
yo, Mark, I mean, look, we work well together, so...
Let's rule the world.
All right.
That was fun. That looked like a good time.
I love the whole, city energy with people interacting, chat, just going off. Your videos are like that too. You have a lot of music videos that are really cool. And your last single that just dropped this year, Friendly Fire. Let's talk about that, because you also recorded and did a video outside. Where was that? Was it in Washington Square Park, was it?
Yeah, Washington Square
Yes.
Park.
And tell us about that. That was a collab too.
Yeah, so I met these guys actually at New Blue at Producer Mondays. They're these songwriters from Israel, super talented musicians as well. And we were just like, every Monday we're like, yeah, let's make music. And then finally, I was like, okay, I'm coming. Let's just have a session. And I pulled up to his apartment in Queens, and he has a really nice like home studio setup. His name is Orion, and he's one half of this band called Lomibo, which is the duo in the video. And we pretty much got into the studio and like made this song within an hour or two. We recorded like most of the instruments on voice memos on the iPhone.
Wow.
Because we were jamming and like coming up with ideas, and we
To
were
not
just, like,
lose it, right?
yeah, exactly. And we ended up using those recordings. So we, put together this song, and it was short after my breakup with my ex. And that was like a huge sort of life moment for me, because I was with this girl for like 3 years, which, I'm like 21, so that's a large percentage of my life.
Those
and-
years are pivotal too. It's very,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and she was part of the reason I moved out to New York. We were living together. So, I had a lot of this emotional baggage that the song helped sort of alleviate. And yeah, we just wrote it. It was one of those, one of the moments where you write a song and it comes out very easily.
Yeah.
Is the best.
Just
experience.
raw emotions.
Right. And then we went to like a really nice studio, Flux Studios in East Village, to like mix it. And we recorded like guitar on like a U87 and we're like, nah, let's stick with the voice memos. Much better.
Wow. That's kind of like what you said before with the live. Like sometimes it just has that essence that you're wanting to keep in a song.
For sure. Yeah. So they're super talented, and you know, everything I do is pretty much like on the spot. Like I don't put a lot of thought into my life, and I just take opportunities as they come. So
That's
I
the
was just
best
like,
way to be. If you
Yeah.
overthink things, you won't do it. And that's why you're doing things, and you're going to be huge because you just continue to show up, continue to do it, and you're focused, and you're not overthinking and saying, well, you know, and you're not a perfectionist, which is good, right?
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson was. That's a thing. He was very meticulous about things.
You can see it in his face.
Yeah.
What was that one video we seen? He was doing it was like all the stars came together and started singing that song, and then that one guy,
Oh, we
Yeah,
are the
yeah.
world.
yeah, that one guy started singing, and
Howie Lewis.
his face was
Oh.
like, wait, why is this happening
Huey
right
Lewis.
now?
Yeah, yeah,
Huey-
yeah. He was like, oh no. Because, he wanted things a certain way. But sometimes that can kind of pause ideas because you want it a certain way all the time. And the imperfections can sometimes be the beauty of a piece, you know, and it can turn out to be something you didn't expect to be just right.
For sure. I mean, like, I definitely know when I've made mistakes, and like when I do a show and it doesn't feel perfect to me, I know it and it sucks.
Yeah.
But I also know, like, it's better to do things than not do things.
I agree.
And you should also know that because you know that you'd made the mistake, not everyone knows that you made the mistake. So
Yeah, sometimes people don't even notice
Yeah,
those things.
unless you bring it up.
And you beat yourself up.
That's why I always tell my musicians, like, in the band, if we fuck up, don't act like it.
Don't make it
No
known.
one's
Yeah,
up.
play it off. Play it off.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've had situations where members on stage was like arguing with each other,
And I'm
it's
like, oh no.
all right, dude, like,
Don't make it like that here.
you
Like,
gotta
don't
just
do
keep
that.
going, man. You can't just focus on
going.
this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I had a show once where my drummer forgot to bring a snare,
Oh no!
Oh
Yeah.
no.
and I thought it was at Mercury Lounge, so I thought they had a snare there, like, cause you know it's pretty big venue.
Would
But
you guys run to like Sam Ash nearby and just picked up one real quick?
no, we used the high tom as the snare, and just like threw a bunch of like bracelets on it.
Oh,
You made it work. They made it work,
that's
see?
awesome.
But it had like this very unique thing, and it informed a lot of like the groove we were doing. So like
Yeah.
Give a nice
It's like
fat
the
backbeat.
audience, everyone kind of thought it was intentional, and we're like, man, I'm gonna do that at my neck. I was like, yeah, exactly, because we
Yeah.
didn't tell anyone it was an accident.
Is what we do.
You got to go with the flow sometimes. That's what it is. That's
Yeah,
the best attitude to have.
For sure.
So you played the Mercury. How was that?
That was good. I have a show there at the end of this month. I'm not like promoting it that much though, because I want to do the New Blue one big.
Oh,
But Mercury Lounge is cool. It's definitely like a room that if you don't fill out, it feels very empty.
mm-hmm.
You know. So, yeah, but the sound is great there. You guys ever get the chance to play? I'm sure maybe you have. I don't know.
And what is I had a thought right now. What was your first experience in a New York City venue? How was that like, and how did you feel the first time you performed in New York City?
I think the first time I got on a stage here was at the Bitter End.
Oh, cool.
I met this guy Augie Bello, who's a saxophonist. Through like I was waiting tables at a taco restaurant, and he came.
Wow. When you
Uh,
first moved?
Yeah, when I first moved, for like a couple months, I had this job at a Mexican at Tacombi. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
No.
Whatever. Pretty expensive tacos, so it attracted like a somewhat gentrified crowd, which was great because it's good networking.
Tacos
yeah.
for hipsters.
Yeah.
good fun. And I met this guy, and then he happened to like come to Funkadelic as well when I was just an intern there. So our paths kept crossing, and he hosted this jam, Thursday night like jam thing at the Bitter End. So I went to that, and it was like huge, sold out. He has a huge following, so he has a lot of fans, and I just remember like telling him like to learn one of my songs, which is just like a 2-chord rap groove, and like I got up there, and everyone else there was doing like Valerie and like covers of like classics.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
going
bar
up there-
band stuff.
Bar
yeah,
band.
exactly. Me going up there and doing my original and like being myself for the first time on the stage was just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the shit that I'm
This
gonna
is
be
it.
doing.
This is it right here.
Yeah.
This is why I moved here for. This is my destiny.
Exactly. But it was really hard for me to get any shows booked because I had no shows under my belt in
Yeah.
the city. So it took a while. I finally got an opportunity with a friend who I met on an app. There was this like startup music app that my girlfriend at the time's friend from school was making, and I met this guy on the app where the app's idea was basically you could like share your music with people and just like talk about it. And I don't know if the app is still active or whatever, but
The only
Is
app
it
we
like a
know.
vamper?
Yeah,
Is
the
it
only,
like that?
we know Vamper. So
yeah, pretty much exactly. And he invited me to like on this bill that we stayed in touch, and he invited me on this bill at the Bowery Electric. So that was my first show, and I remember being there, and I was like, shit, I don't want to be without like any musicians on stage.
Yeah. How was that like?
So
Yeah. So
I invited like a guitarist to just, I was just like, just figure it out. But I need someone else on stage with me to like have some sort of live element because I knew that was the direction I wanted to be at inherently. And then from that moment, like after that show, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start a band. And then things kept building. I started doing more. I did like some, you guys know Breaking Sound?
no.
It's like this company that puts together shows for underground artists.
Huh.
Yeah, like I don't know if you've heard of Major Stage or like So Far Sounds, but it's like pretty
Yeah.
much, they're all like, they rent out a venue and you're supposed to sell a certain amount of tickets. There's like a lot of like ethical problems with them. But for me, they were just a good place to start getting shows and like playing. And from those, like the number one way I get shows now is like through just meeting people or people knowing about me. through people.
networking.
Yeah. Do you every show you go to that you weren't affiliated with initially, do you take note of like who books there and then try to get that contact to do it yourself?
I think I did that early on, but after a while, like once you start doing stuff, I feel like momentum really builds, and people like need bands to play at their like when they're booking shows. And if they see, I think the stuff I do that's the best like is honestly promoting myself and like trying my hardest to make it seem like what I'm doing is as amazing as it really is,
Because
it's
you
hard to-
are.
Thank you. But that effort really pays off because people always are just hitting me up because of the amount of like shows I've promoted or the amount of videos that I make sure I take. So like the content has really been my number one booking agent.
Yeah, and not being afraid to put your stuff out there in the social medias, That's another thing is finding band members that are into that and that are, like, yeah, let's do that. Let's market ourselves.
Yeah, a lot of musicians nowadays don't really focus on the online media, which is
Things are changing
which
constantly.
is sad because that's where the market is. Like you have to learn to make content. And if you
Yes.
don't make content as a musician now, you're just going to struggle harder than it is compared to everyone else. You're just going to be left behind.
For sure.
It's not like the way it was before where you could just kind of network and travel and hand out CDs and business cards and stuff. Like no one cares about that anymore. It's like the only people can see you and understand what they're looking at is if they actually find you online.
Yeah. And I think even worse though is the people who are just online. Like to me, it's like where's the joy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
if
you-
they're
you have
focusing
to
on just
enjoy
online.
both.
Yeah.
Gotta
sure.
do both. And you're
Yeah.
really active on which one? TikTok? Is that the one your main right now? Which one would you say is your main?
Well, I use and get most things from Instagram. Like I've
Instagram?
gotten just DMs from people all the time to do shows. So Instagram has been like my go-to networking platform. TikTok, the thing about TikTok is it's not like anywhere near as predictable as Instagram is.
Yeah.
So I uploaded a video that I didn't really think was that great, and it got like 1 million views. And then I upload videos all the time. Then I'm like, oh, this is awesome, and they get like 200 views. You
Yeah,
know.
you just
Yeah.
never know.
Whereas with Instagram, like it's a sort of steady web that you can, build with people, and like that's just what I use to connect with people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I treat Instagram like a resume. That's how I think about it.
Portfolio.
Right.
Mm.
Like this is where I want when people look up my name, like they see, okay, instantly it's like you can click on a post and you'll hear my music, and then you'll see a picture of me performing. Like that's the goal.
You have a personal website?
No, I just use Linktree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone, if you're in chat, you want to catch some of his links and see what he's about, do Command Nory, Nory, and you should be able to get the links popping up in the chat.
I would love to show another live video with his band. So 8-piece band. Wow, you guys got to find those big stages too, right? Because sometimes
Be cramped up on those little ones.
yeah.
Yeah, it gets a little cramped for sure.
Yeah. It's I mean, Arlene's is a good spot. They have a good space. I played there a couple times, and
Yeah.
I don't know if other locations that I played at, I don't know if you've played at yet. There's a spot in Brooklyn called Brooklyn Music Kitchen. We played there
Yeah.
a couple times.
Gold Sounds. I
Gold
like
Sounds
that
is
one.
another one.
Yeah.
Both sounds, yes. For sure.
But those stages are pretty small.
They're small.
Yeah, I played at Gold Sounds, and I did like an open mic at Brooklyn Music Kitchen a few times. The Gold Sounds stage, I brought the band down to like the 4-piece
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
for that show.
The only
Which
way-
is like what I was saying, like I'm totally adapting to the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the video that I have queued up here, and this isn't the end of the podcast yet. We're just jumping into the video because we want to show some more fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're amazing. We want to just
It's
keep
really
showing you off here.
Yeah.
So this one we have queued up is Nory live at the Sultan Room in NYC. Where is the Sultan Room in NYC?
The Sultan Room is in Bushwick, right off the L train.
Because that stage, that background with that lighting, it's so nice.
It's one of the best
Beautiful.
venues I play that for sure.
How's the sound there, like live?
It's I personally I don't think the sound is incredible,
Okay.
but the venue compensates for that.
Yeah. And
Always like that.
would you say is because of the equipment, or would you say is because the actual venue itself, the way it's laid out, it's
I
hard
think
to
it's
get
the
to?
equipment. I don't know if their monitors are like that amazing, but like they have really, it's like a personal preference thing.
Yeah.
Like I really like a full sound, but it feels like there it's a lot more like I don't know exactly. It's a personal thing, but they have a great sound system. I'm just weird.
And is the drum set, is that a house kit, or you had to bring your own kit?
Yeah, they have a house kit.
Oh, it's a house.
It's Karen. It's cool.
Same thing with New Blue. Is that house as well?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just because it's good to know these things, especially if we're gonna book shows there. I know what I'm expecting.
You gotta bring breakables, like symbols.
Oh yeah, the natural stuff. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, they have stuff. The New Blue house kit is amazing, by the way.
It looks nice.
Yeah, it's like vintage. Super nice.
So let's load up this.
Let's show you the magic of Nory in all his glory.
I think this is the one that we was about to clap at the very end of this.
Yeah. The energy. Let's do it. Let's watch it. At the Sultan Room.
Yo. Listen, come on. They tell you what it's like, but never did it get you to it. They acting like your friend, you acting like they student. They driving in the Benz, but you driving in the Buick. They speaking to they self, yeah, they ego really fluent. It's only when they listen that they wanna clean the stain. They telling me I'm crazy, yeah, they calling me insane. I know I got some issues, but I get it out my brain. This shit is really simple when you think about your pain. It's harder in the moment, but it's easier when it passes. Can't you see the vision? Let me get you a pair of glasses. No, I cannot stop in the moment. It's the madness, crime of the crop, resonating with the masses. This ain't just a way to get these bitches in my mattress. This became my purpose for whatever turned to passion. Half the shit I'm dreaming is some shit you can't imagine. Did it by myself to the bank, I'm gonna be laughing. I only ask you, tell me something. Tell me something. Tell me something. Come on. Tell me. I only ask you, tell me why. I always preach my message, but nobody sympathize. If so, I ask you, help me, cause I'm feeling petrified. I'm staring down a barrel, think my brain gonna get fried. I know there's only seconds before I recognize it's over. God, if you're listening, you know that I've been sober. Know that time is precious while I look over my shoulder. Know that time is precious and we never get the closure. Now I'm feeling stuck inside a room full of cobras, biting on my skin and they biting on my loafers. Feeling like Pusha chilling on Versace sofas, making you believe like a propaganda poster. You wanna come outside but you afraid to see the light. When I step up on the stage, give the audience a fright. I'm chilling with my dogs, yeah, you know they gonna bite. Don't act like you got homies, man, we know you ain't so tight. Man, this shit become intricate. Get my dividends, I'm trying to look inside, but you know I play to win. And so I think about it when sometimes it's getting dim. I think about the start, this is where I begin. And so I ask you, give me one more reason I should cry. I think about my moments, you know I never lie. I'm looking past the start, this is where I begin. You're trying to come inside, it's the fucking lion's den. I'm asking that you tell me. Make some fucking noise, soldier room. Tell me something. Oh, come on. Tell me. Ah! Come on. I said I only ask you, tell me. Let's go. Come on. Tell me. 1, 2, 3. I'll ask you back. How we feeling, ladies and gentlemen? How we feeling, band? We feeling good?
Whew, I want more, Nory.
Nory, tell me something.
Tell me something.
Did you mix that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's solid.
So good.
thank you.
Yeah, the panning of the instruments, was that normally panned or did you pan that?
Panned.
Yeah, see, details. And that drums, that sounds nice and warm. And
Hell yeah.
it's just a nice, it fits the vibe.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I really struggled with the mix for that one song because the engineer wasn't like fully dialed into our levels, so I was like, the vocals were clipping. He wasn't ready for it.
You can hear it, like you can hear the static, right? The
Yeah.
gain, the graininess of it, but it worked because it
Yeah.
made it sound like you have a distortion to your voice, you know?
Right. No, it added for sure. It was kind of cool. Thank you.
Very
Loved
nice.
it. Loved it.
So, two things. All right, I'm going to start with the first one. The first video we showed. I want you to tell me the premise or the context behind the lyrics of that. Like, what does it mean? It was
Yeah, what are you trying to convey?
it was
there?
ashes.
Oh, ashes.
You know, and I'm hearing it, and it sounds really deep, right? And I want to know what inspired you to make the lyrics and what the story is that you're trying to say.
Sure. So I was reading this book called Civilized to Death when I was like writing Ashes or like around that time. But it's pretty much like there's a theme in a lot of my music about civilization and like where we are as a society in terms of like the abandonment of our like natural tendencies as a species and like these crazy formalities and customs that society imposes on us. So Ashes is like, in my opinion, it's less a song and more like a manifesto that I've written that details my opinions about the way that our civilization is structured, which is like, you know, I have lyrics in there about like the police. I have lyrics about working for another man or being in prison. And it's all about how society has contained us. And I don't know, it's hard for me to fully explain, but I feel like the lyrics are some of my strongest and most like honest. And they are kind of just like commentary on how shit our world is.
Oh, that was deep.
He's a big thinker and he's a deep thinker, and I like that. And your lyrics are awesome. And that's another thing too. Like thinking about how hip hop MCs and rappers are kind of doing different things now, and how to categorize what our art is supposed to signify to us and what we want to project as our message. So what would you say Nory's main messages as an artist that they want to have the public view them as? What would you describe yourself as an artist, and what is the main message in your art that you want to project to society or to the world?
Yeah, so I think the stuff that I've been writing for the last couple years, and where I tend to go lyrically, is ultimately about like self-belief, and that's what I feel like my main message is. So even in Ashes, a song that, you know, is like very political kind of, and like a commentary against society. Within that message, I still have lyrics in there about uplifting yourself and doing what you fantasize. And I think there's a line in there. It's like a lot of people are too afraid to take a leap for themselves. They have a fear of the gravity, so they're stuck living a life of mediocrity.
Right.
So I think that kind of encompasses a lot of the angle that I come from, which is like taking that leap for yourself and believing in yourself. And you know, a lot of my songs, like, and then through that, I talk about things like religion. I talk about things like incarceration and stuff like that I find, you know, important parts of my life. Like religion is a huge pillar of my life. I'm not religious, which is part of why it's a huge pillar of my life. And I was raised in an interfaith household, so it always finds a way into a lot of what I write. And so ultimately, it's about believing in yourself. That's like my main motif.
And in the last video we just seen, was that song called My Purpose?
No, that one's called Tell Me.
What is it?
Tell Me. I don't know why.
Tell Me. Oh, yeah. The titling on here is on the
Yeah,
video
it's
is a little off.
I
So
can't change.
tell me something. What is that about?
So that's a song I wrote in my closet in college, in my dorm room. And I just produced and wrote this whole song in my closet, which is where I made most of my self-titled album. And it's also about belief. And I was going through a thing at that moment where I had these friends who I thought were friends, but it really frustrated me because they were in a position that could have really helped me with my career musically, and they weren't responsive. They weren't giving me any attention. So this song was sort of like a fuck you to them. Like the first lines are like, they tell you what it's like, but are not there to get you to it. They're acting like your friends, and you're acting like their student. And they're driving in a Benz, but you're driving in a Buick. They're speaking to they self because their ego's very fluent.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That hits.
You know, explaining my relationship with people.
That's a lot. Like a lot of things happen like that with a lot of even musicians and artists, like all artists. People would want to kind of direct you in their vision of what they think is right for you, but they would never share your videos or they would never like your posts. You know.
Yeah.
And they ask you, how are you doing? I was like, well, you would know if you're following me. You know?
Why you ain't liking my shit?
Why you ain't liking my shit? Why you famous it? Why ain't you liking my shit?
You didn't share my shit.
There's a lot of people I've encountered as I've grown as an artist and so forth who are just purely interested in how they can grow out of you.
Right.
Yeah.
How can you benefit me is essentially their mindset. Which is fine because we live in a world where you need to be benefited, you know, we have to survive out here, but there's a much more effective way to get to benefit from somebody.
Not a one-way street.
Right.
You know, it's
it takes a community and a collaboration of artists to make music in a lot of ways too.
Collaboration
and
is
who
the
shows
key,
up,
right?
yeah, to the shows.
It's not what can you do for me? It's what can we do for each other?
Right.
You know, and that's how we are with our podcasts. We have a lot of amazing, you know, artists, musicians that are, you know, huge, touring with hundreds of thousands of followers, and then we also have musicians that are just starting, you know, that
we're you guys should know them because they're gonna be huge,
Yeah.
and they're super skillful.
So if we were those type of people that were looking just for clout and look for you know, what can we gain, you know, we would just be focusing on all the larger individuals, which is hard because we're not, you know, that at that caliber, but we were grateful to have some of those individuals. And then also our goal is to help spread, you know, other musicians like yourself. If the people that follow us through our platforms and from other musicians that are looking for, you know, people like you, and that's the purpose of our podcast, is to show light to all of, you know, you, your amazing work, and in hopes that it will inspire other people to grow. And at the same time, you know, we're benefiting as well for having you on here because we're sharing an interest with each other. So
Yeah, I was telling him we've had like Talamir in the chat. He's from Norway, and he has a band, and he tours and does all these kinds of things with other bands. So there's a lot of people that in different parts of the world that think, okay, well, what's happening in New York City? And YenYorkCity, I didn't want it just to be New York City based, especially when everything happened.
Well, New York is a melting pot, so we're
But
basically the center
yeah.
of the world here.
Yeah, so I want to share a lot more of New York City artists like yourself, because I want people to know that there are things happening here. There are big things happening here, and we still are, I think, the center of a lot of the music. It's not just in LA, and a lot of people want to make Texas and all these other places and it's yeah, but it's here really that you have everything at your hands, at your disposal. And if you look for it, you will find it. I mean, look, he has an 8-piece band. He's booking shows. He's making music. He's collaborating. He's telling us everything he's doing right now. This is what an artist does here in New York City. and you got to grind. You got to put the work to really get out there. It's not something that's going to come and fall in your lap.
Yeah, this city is no joke.
It's no joke.
You gotta work.
For
Like, I was
sure.
born and raised in New York City. He's from New Jersey. I told him, baby, you got to come to New York City because it's the small little venues in Jersey isn't really where it's at. And expand and start making music with different artists and collaborating. And that's how you network. And obviously, you're doing it right. You've been here 2 years. You got an 8-piece band. You got a lot of stuff going on for you. I'm so proud of you. I mean, I just met you, but like,
Can't stress it enough. You're amazing.
I already
you.
know. I'm like thinking that this is gonna be one of those podcasts. I'm like, remember when we had Nory and he was like coming up? Because it's gonna happen. I really see it. And you're so young, and this is just the beginning. And I see it. I see you have everything. You have everything, the whole package to make it all the way up there. So I'm so excited for what's to come for you.
If you need drums, you
Well-
can reach out to me for anything.
Okay, I will. Definitely. Maybe drum lessons.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I can show you some things.
Oh yeah,
So-
he's a great progressive drummer.
That's awesome. I really want to extend my gratitude to you guys as well, because not only is this just a podcast, but it's a whole like journey. What this whole program is, and you guys are putting together something really beautiful. I've been on other podcasts before, but this is by far like the best one, the coolest one.
Nice.
been.
Ah, that means the world to me. Thank you so much for saying that, Nory. It means a
You
lot.
have such a whole vision with everything that you guys are doing. It's so cool. I love the graphics as well. It's like
We try to treat our podcast like a show, like a late night. You know, like how like Yen. What's the even at some point when if this ever takes off to be bigger than what it is today,
when
you know,
it
we
gets-
want to get a studio and have like a whole like late night show
Like a
to be
s-
live
yeah, like-
stream.
Like Saturday Night Live, but for artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then get you in person into the studio and then like do something live, you know, and have everyone plugged in. You know, that's our goal. That's our vision.
The big picture, yeah. You
well,
gotta
it's an
start
amazing
somewhere.
thing already. So congratulations to you guys, and thank you for promoting and empowering artists like myself.
Of course,
course.
we believe 100% in what you're doing. And so your next show is going to be, what's the date? I want to know.
March 2nd at New Blue.
March 2nd and New Blue. And it's how
Yeah.
long is the set? It's going to be a whole like hour?
I
Oh,
believe
45
it's a
minutes.
like 40 minute set. I'm gonna be doing a whole lot of new music I've never played before. That's kind of like, because you know I've performed that set that you saw in the Soul Tumor video like for months, and I'm just like I want to do new songs now. You know I can't be
Yeah.
doing the same thing forever. So that's the goal. I'm hoping to have a couple new tracks to showcase that night.
I'm excited because, yeah, I think it's like every 2 years or so, you know, it's like coming out with a new album or, you know, a new, well, what would you say? A lot of people put out singles now instead of albums. Do you think that that's better to do instead of a whole album drop?
I'm an album guy. Like I just love the idea of curating an entire story with an album. So I think artists should be doing both. I think you
Yeah.
need to have singles, you know, because that's like definitely objectively what's best for your like streams. But don't shy away from doing albums either, because like that's the stuff people will look back on and listen to, and like they're like benchmarks of your life. I feel.
I agree. So I don't think you read the last part of the itinerary, but I'm gonna surprise you, and this could either be really easy or really hard. Sometimes people just go through it really quick and they're like, oh, I know this, I got this, I've thought about this 100 times. So my last question is usually it's something to really put together as the soundtrack of your life. It can be the first song you ever fell in love with. It can be the first song that inspired you to be a singer. It can be a song that you are inspired right now and are writing yourself. But
or you grew up with your family.
yeah, like going to the beach, or it reminds you of your childhood, or a love, you know, lost. Anything that really signifies impactful parts of your life in music, in songs that will reflect the soundtrack of your life. And there's 12 of them. And I don't want you to think too hard. but I want you to like give me what would be the soundtrack of Nory's life in 12
Whoa.
songs.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Right this instant.
Okay. All right. So, one song that has to be there is Billie Jean.
Billie Jean, Michael
100%.
Jackson.
That was like my shit. I would say. So are we? So it's 12. You
It's
said,
12.
12.
Yeah, that was one.
It's like a whole album of your life.
You got this.
I'll write this down so I don't fuck this up. Give me a sec.
I love these because it can be like super eclectic. It can be a bunch of different type of music, and it usually surprises me,
Mhm.
and it's awesome.
China Girl by David Bowie.
Ah, David Bowie. He's a David Bowie fan.
Mm.
Yes.
Of course. I would say Desert Rose thing.
Wow. Okay.
That was just like my mom's favorite song.
Oh.
Oh.
It was always being played. Oh, for sure. Love Lockdown, Kanye.
Nice.
That's a good one. That's one of my favorite Kanye songs.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but it was just something my mom was playing when I was in like 2008.
So when you
like,
hear that, you think of your mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like that period of like
Yeah.
how.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. There has to be Beatles in this. I'm gonna say Here Comes the Sun.
Oh.
Dee 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 doo.
That
Here
reminds me of my
comes the
son.
sun.
Yeah.
Let's see. I gotta give Bjork a spot on this too.
Hey.
Wow. Nori got like just the most. Okay. Yeah. I love these artists. All of them.
Yeah, so I would give this song
I think we're
Yeah.
number 5. Are we?
No, 6. We're on
6.
6,
This
yeah.
is the 6th song.
yeah, I'm counting, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me think of what Bjork song, because it's gotta be on Vespertine. That's like one of my favorite albums ever. But they're
Do you
all
like Portishead?
I haven't done enough Portishead in my life to say yes, but I would say I do like what I've heard. I know that they do a lot of really cool like trip hop stuff,
Yeah.
attack, and I love that shit. So yeah. Damn. Probably I think Cocoon by Bjork.
Okay. Cool.
I think Sierra Leone by Frank Ocean
Oh,
is
nice.
another song that was just like a huge part of my life. Space Song from Beach House.
Oh,
Beach House.
Wow.
One of our songs is very inspired. Kind of has like that beach housey vibe.
I love Beach House too.
There has to be some Kendrick on this too. Some LCD Sound System as well. I think Oh Baby, LCD Sound System. Another classic. Okay, number 10, Kendrick. What's Kendrick's song? Institutionalized by Kendrick Lamar.
Nice.
2
more.
Make them good. They gotta count.
Redemption Song by Bob Marley.
Oh.
Hey.
Can I have some Bob Marley in there?
Okay, last one. Holy shit.
This is one of my favorite lists, I gotta say. So many beautiful artists.
I need to think for a second. This feels important.
I know it's like there could be so much more, you know, because there's a lot of aspects of your life, especially like, you know, what inspired you to dance, you know, and all the types of music that you danced to.
Yeah.
But then there could be other significant moments in your life that hits.
Okay, I think I'm gonna put Ondine by Ravel, like the classical composer.
Wow.
That was a song that inspired me to really want to learn piano, and this is just like one of the most enchanting songs that I've ever heard. That's my list.
Nice.
That
We did
was
it.
a beautiful. I love that list. I gotta say, One of my favorite top lists that I've heard in a long time.
That is awesome.
And that sums up your whole Nory.
The Nory story.
Yeah. The 12 songs of Nory's soundtrack to his life.
I should have put some James Brown there, but I can't fit them all.
Bonus track.
Bonus. So what are, if somebody was to say, give me 3 songs that you want to showcase that you feel are the most you, that are your songs, what are the 3 that reflect what you want people?
From the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Billie Jean, Here Comes the Sun, and the Kanye track. Yeah.
I can see it.
I love
Michael
it.
and Kanye have to be on there.
Yeah.
Sure.
I love it.
So, Nory, we're at the end of our show today. Is there a video you'd like to me to play? I guess if you want me to play, I can play the Friendly Fire one. That's new, right? That's your newest one.
Yeah, that's the newest music video.
Yeah.
So for everyone that's watching or just tuning in or has been watching for a while, so I appreciate all of you guys for being here. And make sure you're following Nory and his journey, because this is just the beginning. And he's doing so much amazing stuff. And he has a lot of great videos to watch. And he has a couple of amazing shows to come. So if you're in the New York City area, definitely check him out.
Look out for Nory. He's going to be huge. You already heard it here. Thank you, Nory, for giving us this time and space. You are so special. You are super skillful, talented, beautiful, inside and out. And I can't wait to see and hear the new music that's coming, because I know you're saying you're going to be playing that at New Blue on March 2nd. And what time do you go live that day?
I think I'm headlining, so like 9:30, 9.
Is that on a Friday or Saturday?
It's a Friday night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Friday.
Maybe if we're free, we
yeah,
can
let's go. Let's go.
Check them out.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Alrighty.
So
So let's show this video. This is Friendly Fire. Nory, don't leave yet. We're going to give our final goodbyes after this is all over. But appreciate you for being on here. You're awesome.
You're a star, baby.
We shall check you out real soon.
I love you guys.
I love you so much, and I can't wait. And we got to go check you out live, because that energy is fire. Nory, you're fire. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Look. There were decisions that we had to take. They weren't easy for the both of us to have to make. Yet every time I close my eyes, I still see your face, forgetting all the reasons why we had to separate. I tried to make a living and start a new life. A month before, I never doubted that you'd be my wife. But then you came home, told me we should have a talk. There was a look in your eyes, it never ever stopped. And I remember months ago, you said you'd never leave. But then I found myself staring, feeling disbelief. You told me we should take a break, at least a couple weeks. Asked me to move out because you know I didn't sign the lease. Now I look back, you and I ain't talking still. The occasional text, but nothing like it was. Saw our dreams fall apart, all that we had built. Yet I still deep down believe you're the one.
Friendly fire with a talisman. Smoking, then I said how high. She said look within, my eyes turned blind to all I could see. Make it linger for me. Couldn't let her go, just let her down. Never had the time to say goodbye. Wouldn't change anything. Wish I could have been that person. How could I have felt the one I love? Friendly fire with a talisman.
journaling, it helped it all make sense. I blame myself on account of my own innocence. But through my writing and with time I really had to start realizing this was always gonna fall apart. You weren't honest how you felt at times, you wouldn't say that I hurt you. I could see your love was growing tired. I do regret ever once causing pain. I hope you know that I would not repeat the friendly fire.